7:27, guys. Here we go. Breaking open the final egg. And we're gonna put some cheese on it. And we're gonna have some yogurt too. Well, maybe not some yogurt. Maybe I'll have half of a bagel with this too. So here we go. Last night I said my oh hell no again. Which obviously was, we had a freeze warning, guys. Welcome back to Pennsylvania. For girls. Just like I told the girls down there in volleyball, it takes so long for spring to get here. Alright guys, I'm gonna grab the cheese and do it, so here we go. Alright guys, 7:34, let's have breakfast. Nice relaxing morning here. Full of joy too. Alright guys, 7:50, time to have my bagel. South Carolina, Georgia, and any part of Florida seems so much better than today. I have obviously had no frost, or Pennsylvania, not I. Pennsylvania has had no frost. Hey everyone, your girl List here. So coming to you guys this morning now. It will now officially be a Friday finale. Yeah, Florida finale Friday. There we go. Florida finale Friday. So as you guys just saw, I did include my GoPro drops at, and I can never say it right, but the Samira beaches. So, or Samira Beach, there's only one, right? Just like Anna Maria Island, not islands. Anyhow, so yeah, you guys can see it is a little bit of a bummer, a slight bummer, right, at Samira, but actually not really, because you have to have that all the time in order to just trial and error. Like you have a trial and error. And it's hard to watch the whole film right then and there. That's what I'm trying to get. So, for example, one person had even told me, the guy that was standing there, he had said that his friend has something where you can actually see the camera, like, on your phone, right, as you're dropping it. But, you know, that also kind of takes away from the fun, right? So not taking away from the fun at Samira and all over, right? Because, like I said, you know, you have to give it fun, right? So you have to, like, go back and trial and error, right? And then know, like, how, like, to pull on the chain, right? When you're at, like, 45 feet or whatever, to get it to go up, right? Kind of like I did down there at the Keys. I thought that was really cool. And knowing that 45 feet, you can still, like, get the camera to move up. So maybe having the thinner chain might have done really, really well. So anyhow, I just want to come on and share those. It did look like there was that brown. It almost looks like a brown trout, right? So it has the brown and black stripes on it. I thought that was kind of cool and fun to see. But that was pretty much it. And then there was like a coral reef down there. So no wonder, right? It's the most shark-attacked beach, right? Yeah, because there would have been piles and piles of black tip reef sharks, and probably even white tip reef sharks. And actually, the shark that I saw in the Keys, I actually believe it's a nurse shark. So when I come on and share those corrections, and then obviously do a nice little snippet there of the GoPro drops, right, and how you can still make fun of it, right, and not take away from the fun of it, right? So that also kind of goes off what I had shared before with going back to certain goals, right? Like I had said, yeah, right, every time is a new time, right, and you embrace the start, right, because it's a new time every time. And yes, sometimes there is, yeah, but, you know, you're able to manage it, right? And even looking back, you're able to squash any thought that is obviously not true. It's not like it's a thought that actually needs to be examined and, well, no. Like, that, and you won't let any negative thought get to you, right? Even if you do realize reality, right? Like I had said before with buff stuff, right? So yeah, that's kind of cool. But anyhow, like I said, yeah, it's, going back to that and, working on that. But anyhow, so every time's a new time. I don't want to get on a big long speech about that though again. So anyhow, I want to come on now and share my top 3. So obviously the Samira beaches obviously are number 1 just because of the drive into it, right? There's a really massive big inlet. I really like that a lot. There's also little mini fishing piers right near the inlets, which obviously is different, right, to an extent, but you might have a harder chance catching something than like the Keys. But it was still nice, to be able to have all those different availabilities, right? Especially for people who are looking for that marine life, so they can get out underneath that bridge, right? Those are really, really nice, and that's also why Horseshoe Beach is really, really fun. But I'll get into that though here pretty soon. But yeah, so that was pretty nice. Obviously, it does give Little Miami vibes just because of a lot of those certain hotels, right? And a lot of the parking, obviously, is easier to get to. And it's also free, too, which was really, really nice that I didn't have to pay for parking, right? But I did obviously have to pay for parking to get to Wet Willie's. So that's really, really nice and an added positive with the Samira beaches. And obviously the really low tide, that... What? What do we want to have for supper? Alright guys, so following the gram interruption, obviously again it was really, really nice as well with all those different beach accesses. And obviously again, no parking really to get, you don't have to like pay for parking, right? Like you do have to at all these other zones, right, in Miami. So that was really, really nice. Obviously, bathrooms were much more readily available too, which was kind of nice, except though they were actually smaller. A lot of the ones in Miami were pretty big with like 10. So that is one thing where Miami kind of wins because it is like right on the beach there, in its own little. But there was only 2 spots at the Samira Dunes that I was at. Obviously, the wait times probably about the same, just because the congestion, right? Construction, really long lights, right? Drawbridges, just a lot of stuff going on in Miami that causes, right, a big decrease in the hours lost a year. And yes, that's obviously why it's number 3 for the most hours lost per city. So yeah, that was kind of cool. And then also, it wants it as vast and far of a distance. And this will get into number 2 then. But like you could see, like a little reef or like a little island, right? And it looked like it was really, really close. And because of the low tide, it's super easy to just get on your paddleboard then and go right over to the other side. And I think I showed a little bit of that on my video. So yeah, from the lookout, which was kind of nice. And then obviously driving on the beach is nice. You can drive on the beach. I obviously saw a couple people there. And parasailing too, or hang gliding, that was really nice to see. And it also is a nice rewarding feeling that that you're super, super close to Daytona Beach, which can be very, very packed, obviously, especially during the Daytona 500. That is when it is most packed. So that you're just south and you're less populated, which can be nice, to an extent, especially if you want to get out there and get on the water, and ride the waves and go snorkeling, right? Not have other people disrupting the marine life. So yeah, it's definitely my number 1 pick. So Now, getting into number 2 is obviously the No Name Key, where the key deer were. That one was really, really cool because obviously all those palm trees and massive vegetation, except the endless grave. That was not cool. But yes, that was weird. I'm still weirded out by this to this day. But yes, that was really, really nice because as you're like exiting, right, like US 1, you get like a really like long feeling, but you know that you're not really that far away, which can be nice, because anywhere in Florida, you're only like an hour drive from the beach, right? So you kind of get that feeling in the Keys, right? And you know that you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you know that you're surrounded by the ocean, but you're also like know that you're not, or you feel like it would take forever, right? So you kind of feel like you're in the Amazon, right? Like a really thick, dense part of your own little island, so to say. And that's what it is. It is a key, right? Which is an island, right? So yeah, that one was really, really cool because you couldn't really hear the ocean, but you knew that it was around, And then you got to see the key deer, Obviously, that one was really, really sick. I don't understand what the hell's going on with them down there. But anyhow, guys, that one was, again, really, really fun because then on the upper end, like walking out, right, like you had like these trails, right, that were for like ATVs or, township trucks and everything. And they went like way back in there, kind of like a mountain road around here in Pennsylvania. So you kind of had like your own like super super far away, but you're not far away. And you also had it from like a ground level, which is really really nice because for example, the people who are in like Rio de Janeiro, right? If they're at Christ the Redeemer statue and they're looking down at the beach, they're like, "Oh my gosh," right? That's far, right? But you kind of have like a different sense of that. And it's only like an hour, right? Now, if you tried to walk, I don't even know how long it would take to walk from Christ the Redeemer statue to Rio de Janeiro Beach. It'd probably be a long time, at least 4 hours, right? So you kind of get that kind of feel, right? Because you can't even really see the ocean at certain parts. Actually, I couldn't see the ocean at all, right? So it was a really cool, like, little setup there. And then obviously you did have a ball field. They had a ball field on the way out on the left-hand side, and it's obviously, it's almost like an okayness, right? Like for example, right? Like I've never been to the desert, right? But so I can't really speak to this, but I can get my own senses, right? So like out in the Sahara, let's say, right? They want to get there quickly, right? Because maybe they're running out of water, right? Maybe they had to drink. No, that's the cool thing about camels is they don't need to drink, right? 47 gallons at once every hour, right? Yeah, it lasts them a long time. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, like I want to get out there, but like in the Keys, you don't have that, right? Because obviously there's all those like gas stations around, right, where you have your own, right? And yeah, yeah, you can have like a backpack, but still, like to actually get back there, then you have like a car, right? And you can just drive to the Circle K, right? So I thought that was also really, really cool with the key, the no name key. And obviously, I call it the Endless Cemetery key, right? From my experience of there. That was insane, guys. I still do not know what in the hell is going on. If that is some animal's like stash pile, right? And there's like some like El Chupacabra, right? Alright, guys. Anyhow, hey, there could be, right, guys? It's a what is that? Not a conspiracy. Well, no, it's a folklore, but it might not actually be fake, right? There might actually be El Chupacabras. So, anyhow, guys, that one obviously is definitely number 2 for that reason. Because, yeah, you kind of get, like, your sense of, like, like, take, like, an all-day walk, and get to see iguanas right down there. Obviously, get into the right side of the Keys, right? Or that key, right? And you get to see the alligators, right, swimming all around. So, and don't turn your back on a gator like I did. So that one was pretty cool to also see. yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You can wear, your flip-flops still, or sandals even, open shoed. Even though you get that sense of like you're super, super far away, which is really, really nice, um, to not have to actually go like full throttle hike mode. That one was really, really cool. I really like that too. Because there is grass, but it's not super, super high. You might see some snakes, right? So definitely the key deer, right? And no name key was definitely my number two. And then number three is the Anna Maria Island. The Anna Maria Island was super, super nice. You also do have, leading into it, right? There is a lot of inlets, right? Which was nice, like Samira. But Samira, again, had much more of those oddities that I like, and landscapes that I like, and mindsets that I like that I had shared. So obviously, for the Anna Maria Island, there is obviously, that first part, right? That first inlet. Um, Somewhat of a crowded beach there. I forget the name of that one. But then obviously, right before you get there on that main road, I forget what that main road was called, but you have like all these horses, right, that are walking out in the water. So some people that might be a turn off, right, because now you're not going to be able to fish around there for a while, right, because the horses are spooking the fish, right? But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all really driving into it. You do have a sense of like you're in your own little like mini neighborhood, right? Right outside. And literally every single block there's a light. So you do get that sense of it just kind of opens up into it, right? Which is nice. Um, but not on top of, not like whenever you're talking about like the beach and stuff, you know, it's not really my kind of thing, especially because you're driving through it, right? Now, for example, if there was like a walking trail, right, like from the Tampa Bay, right, over into that Anna Maria Island, right, that would definitely be something I would be very interested in for sure. So, but yeah, just like I said, driving through it, there's just something about driving through it. And obviously, the drive up to it is pretty high in the speed limit until you get into that little town, Anna Maria, right? So, yeah, it's not really my kind of thing. Now, if you're talking like cities, right, like Pittsburgh, right, the Fort Pitt Tunnel, right, just come right on out in, boom, right? That's definitely good. And then there's 376 from Monroeville. Um, then there's two other ones, and there's like a North Shore one. Um, Liberty Ave, right, which goes through all the towns that, or all the streets that take you out, right, like Forbes Avenue, Fifth Avenue, Wood Street, obviously can connect you over to the North Shore from the Middle Bridge. I forget what the Middle Bridge is called. I know if you're at the Grandview Overlook and you look at the bridge closest to you, that's the Clemente Bridge. No, yeah, wait, no, Clemente Bridge is the Middle Bridge. Um, Oh, they just opened it 2 years. They opened it during their light up night. What the heck was that called? Robert? No, it's not the. No, Clemente's in the middle. What is the. Guys, it's like right there. Anyhow, let's get back. This is not a Pittsburgh talk, even though we are going to Pittsburgh tomorrow. And we obviously have the Pirates game tomorrow. Very excited for that. We're actually going to get all dolled up here. I'm going to get out my makeup here and bust this out. I haven't ever got it. I was supposed to use it for Halloween shoots, but never did. So, yes. So, we'll officially get all of that out. But, like I said, let's get back on topic about my number 3 pick for the finale. So, anyhow, yes, obviously, that is, kind of like a downer, And then, I didn't actually see like a lot of like souvenir type stuff, which, is okay, but you would want some souvenir places right around there. Um, you know. So anyhow, that's a little bit of a bummer. Kind of like, Collins Ave, right, in Miami, right? There's all those different places. So, um, I'm trying to think. People obviously do drive respectfully because they know that there's a lot of those carts around, right? Um, the reefs are nice. There's multiple reefs, right, at certain parts, um, which none of that really adds into like what I had said before with, at the Samira Dunes, right? Like you can see and like it's like, okay, this is super low, right? I'm gonna take that paddleboard out there. And heck, I might even paddleboard the whole way around the reef and get over. So there's no really sense of that though at the like Coquina Beach or any other beach on Anna Maria Island. But it is definitely picture perfect, beautiful sand. You can't go wrong with the sand. Seashells come up, but they're really really small from the ones that I found. Obviously, Samira had some really really big ones. I really like Samira's. I actually don't have this one, this blue one. This is a Samira shell. Samira shell. So many S combos that you can put with Samira. But anyhow, yes. So that was okay, And then it is though nice, right, with the waters, So out of all three that I picked, obviously No Name Key is close to Horseshoe Beach, which is nice. The water, you're definitely though out in the ocean. Well, actually, no, that's on the Gulf side. But still, you guys get the point, and you guys saw like it, even the flow of it, right? Because you have, well, again, you're at the Gulf. You're basically, that's where the Gulf meets the Atlantic. So you're gonna have certain parts where the drop-offs are really, really deep, right? Obviously, in the Gulf, it's much different, but yeah, you again don't have that sense. From what I saw of the chop and everything out at Samira, which is kind of nice, And the waves are a little bit bigger too, so depending on which way you're going, right? If you're going with the waves, you'll be there in like no time. Just gotta not overreact, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice though, like I had no issue, right? At Coquina, right? Having my feet off, right? Really only had like my calves, right, touching the paddleboard. Obviously, I was trying to stay out of the way of any jellyfish. Obviously, again, though, it didn't say it that there was jellyfish, but there you're in the ocean, right? There's jellyfish somewhere, right? So, yeah. Yeah, Coquina Beach was definitely nice for all of those vibes, Obviously, you get the southernmost beach kind of like reminder in comparison, because obviously the teal and turquoise water is very teal and turquoise. I probably could have got some really lit pics, if I would have had on my teal bikini that day, or at least packed it, right? But yeah, it was definitely good for that starting paddleboard. Except, I obviously went to have a really fun time on the paddleboard, so I would have went out further on each one. But still, though, there's just something about being able to have like landmarks around that just makes it somewhat nicer, right? Because then you don't feel like you're just paddling. Again, you're not really paddling into nothing because you're still seeing the beauty, right, of stuff, and you have chances of seeing dolphins, right, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But again, there's just something about the Samira which was really really nice for me. So yeah, probably definitely stick with that. But that's also kind of why number 3 for Anna Maria Island, just because I mean, yeah, you have those little, like, reefs, right? Man-made reefs, right? Them rocks that kind of extend. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much it, And there wasn't many, like, palm trees on the beach itself, so you don't really get that feeling. Like, whenever, like, you're just basically... It's almost like whenever you're out there, you'd feel like you're just coming into like a a non-inhabited island, you know. So there were obviously a couple palm trees on that little boardwalk there, but you know, the amenities were nice. Obviously, they had showers, right? Um, Key Deer, the no-name Key, actually didn't have any showers. So even though that is the only thing that was, you know, something to be prepared for, that definitely doesn't take it away from being number two. So yeah, guys, that was a good 30-minute talk, well 25, about my order. So yeah, I just decided I'd make that video here this morning, and then I'm gonna have a snack lunch today. It's 11:45. I have 8,200, so obviously I had to take out the go get the mail in a sweatshirt today. Well, welcome back to Pennsylvania, but it has warmed up now to about 50, so I was able to, you know, go get the mail then in this. But that's all that it's gonna stay at today, because welcome back to Pennsylvania. So yeah. I mean, other than that, guys, it's definitely been a really, really good talk here this morning with you guys. I'm happy to share my top 3 picks. And then, yeah, obviously, again, share those GoPro films. So, yeah, there we go. That'll be it. I'll stop trying to take up time. But, yeah, just want to come on and share. And then, yeah. All right, let's just stop trying to take up time. I'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, oh my god, I finally got it. So coming to you guys today now, I want to come on and do my finale prep. Obviously, again, this is just one weekend here in Pittsburgh, and obviously Pittsburgh is in my state that I currently live in, Pennsylvania, right? So it's a little statecation, you could say. Well, I mean, yeah, it's only 2 days, but I'm doing a lot of really fun tasks. So anyhow, wanted to go ahead and get on with what I am wearing, obviously, tomorrow to the game. And then, obviously, for Pittsburgh Marathon weekend or my race, right? Because the whole marathon weekend actually starts tomorrow. So, there's a couple events that go on. I think, like, the kid trot, the dog walk goes on, I think, too. I think the champion mile goes on. But anyhow, guys, regardless, coming to you guys now, we're going to get all that stuff situated. So, obviously, tomorrow, it's going to be 5 degrees less than it is now. And obviously, it's going to be an 8-degree wind, which is not groovy at all. So, I have to make a trip, right, back to this morning. And obviously 2 Tuesdays ago, right? So, what does that mean? Well, guys, I have to go Miami Beach, and anywhere else is nicer, right? So Miami is obviously in Florida, and Myrtle Beach is in South Carolina. So I have to make my way back to Florida and Georgia, Florida and South Carolina. The next state up from the Florida-Georgia line. Yes. So I have to make, obviously, my way back to those 2 states and have memories of them, right? So, yes, that's what we're going to do, obviously, for my top 4 tomorrow. And then I'll probably wear, like, some black leggings. So I always like the black leggings. Now, this kind of goes off what I had said with Columbia wear, because Columbias are always nice because you always know that any pocket that they have is going to be a zipper pocket, right? So, obviously I'm going to wear my black leggings, right? My Yogalicious, right? But the only thing is it's nice to not have to, like, carry around your purse, right? Sometimes you want that, right? As a girl, you know, it's nicer and easier. You know, sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge, though, because if you have, like, multiple cards, right? And then you have to, you know, dig around. Yeah, it can be a little bit, you know, your senses are a little bit more heightened, right, whenever you're doing that without a purse. Or you could take a Vera Bradley, you know, and have it dangling here with just the cards, you know. That's also fun to do. I should actually get one of those. It's actually been a really, really long time since I've ever had one of those. But yes, so what you can do then, or what I'm going to do, you know, is obviously take my purse along with me for the cards and everything. Just because it's a non-zipper, you know, there's just something about it, you know. You just want to be extra safe, you know. So no zipper equals um, no purse, right? So I'm gonna take my purse from my cards, but I have my phone then in my pocket. So if something big is about to happen, right, I can just pull it out real quick and have it, right? Now, obviously, my period purse is much different, right? You remember, right? So if I have it in here, right, my period purse, right? Look, you can never just open it. You have to, right? The period purse, guys. Seriously though, for real, like every time I open this, I'm like, really? Is it really that time again? You can never just, you gotta open it, guys. Yeah, anyhow, okay, this is not where I do a demonstration, right? And I really show pieces of my labia majora to you guys. But yes, little bits and pieces, right? Little nugget here, little nugget there, right? Or whatever the heck you want to call it. And that goes off what I had said before, right? I can handle certain things, right? As long as you're not super degrading with it, right? Like I said, I can handle Pitbull, right? If I'm singing a song, I'll sing Pitbull, right? Didn't go to church, I got blessed, I can handle that, right? But I can't handle a man-child, and I do not even, I just go silent. Maybe it's stupid, I mean, I can handle that. You know, it's a little bit more, you know, higher end than a blonde moment, but in the grand scheme of thing, it's still really, really low, right? You know, slow is borderline, right? But I do not say that next word at all, because yes, nobody is that. And speaking of women, right, because talking about it's a man's child, yes, no woman is like that. No human is like that, but in that specific context, we're relating to women. So no woman is like that. Anyhow, guys, yes, so, yes, we will obviously do a different version of purple. So, because of the weather and everything still, we're going to wear obviously this, and then I'll have obviously my shirt on top, so I probably won't have to do any tucking underneath of the shirt this year, which would be really, really nice to have a tuckless, right, copycat photo. So obviously my black bra, right, is dirty from my run, so I'm going to wear the red bra underneath that. That'll be something that if I didn't share, only I would know, right? Like my most common used term on my page. Obviously, just socks, some panties. I actually wearing a full panties this time, so full panties. And then, obviously, like I said, we cannot forget the updated purple, right? So, yeah, updated purple and different weather this year purple. Yeah, I mean, other than that, guys, it's definitely really, really good. Last Super Lush Life was much better with the, you know, the degree, right, that it got warm after the total solar eclipse. This year, this Super Lush Life, it's a hard one to tell, you know, because it is only the first day in March, you know, or May. So you have, you know, June, July, August, I mean, yeah. You know, if it's like after this week, I'm definitely going to be super happy whenever I go down south again this fall. So, yeah. Other than that, guys, that pretty much sums it up for my get ready with me suitcase-wise for Pittsburgh Marathon weekend. So, yeah, we'll definitely have a lot of fun there tomorrow at PNC Park, and then get to my place, and then Sunday, boom, we're on my race. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for that nice little packing video. So, thank you for watching the nice little packing video. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I might go and fill up my car later on tonight. So, probably will, just so I have a full tank. And I probably only have to stop one time. I'm probably done just fill up again at, like, Blairsville. So, like, an hour out. And we also have to go get my Frisbee today. But I might honestly save that for tomorrow too. So just like leave here at like 11, right, and go there. I could also get it after the game, you know, and I can even get it after marathon weekend. But, you know, I'll see. I feel like I'm good with the disc that I have now. I actually do have to research um, the disc golf places a little bit more and just kind of see like where they're all at, how far, or well, I know where they're at. I just have to figure out like the distances between the holes if that information is readily available. But guys, like I'm not going out to be like, competing in the national championship. Like I'm just having fun with it, right? So, you know, that and it is kind of like my first time in a while. So, but like I said, I would really like to go get that today. So, yeah, there's not really much else, honestly. So, I'll probably include those GoPro films if it doesn't change the aspect ratio. I know you guys saw, obviously, I had to put up that film right away because it said 16:9, which was for YouTube, but it was so small and minute that I had to switch it to the TikTok one, and then it actually fit to size better. So, anyhow, I'll get going. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey everyone, your girl is here.
Also didn't share, obviously, earlier, but yes, indeed, my America 250 flags came, so I'm officially going to have them up, like I said, for the rest of the year. I also did want to come on and share that I have all my toiletries set out, so all I have to do in the morning, right, is grab my hairstyling stuff. I'm debating on what hairstyle to wear this year. I'm thinking of the half up, half down from the scalp, so that'll be nice, definitely. So I'll have to actually take in some heat protectant too. So that'll be good, to wake up early that morning and get the shower, and do that. So that'll probably be the hairstyle for this year. Just want to come on and share all of that. And then actually what I'm going to do is, because this is a super lush life, I'm going to go ahead and do my music review that I never did as well. So, but I'm going to do it in like a video format, for as much as I can, at least, yeah, do as much as I can, do like my own little a music video to my music, like standouts, or my music, I can't think of the next word. Music, not standouts. Music taste, right? Or, see, but it's not a taste because it's my top 5 played. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and work on that now and then obviously add that in. That'll be my next segment. And then tonight, actually, once Walmart dies down, I'll officially go get all of my Frisbee, right, and fill up with gas. So that'll probably be like 6 or 7 tonight, and then I'll come right back and do my shower, right? So, yeah. So it'll definitely be a really, really good here. But let me go ahead and start working on that, and then, yeah. Anyhow, yeah, let me go ahead and work on that, and then, yeah, just a couple more clips, and then we are Pittsburgh bound, guys. So happy and excited to get my booty on down there to Pittsburgh. Oh my god. It never fails, guys. Pittsburgh never fails. Anyhow, here we go. I did also want to share really quickly, speaking as well of not letting any negative thoughts try to win, right? Or get you down in the dumps because the thoughts aren't reality and they're not reality. So, for example, obviously a lot of people say that the lottery is a fool's game, right? So, whenever I share my information, right? Obviously, my gram, she's the person who first comes to mind because she's like, well, how much did you make, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but like even other people, like it's a fool's game. There's been a couple other people that have either said things in the background whenever I'm buying lottery tickets, and stuff like that. So, for example, it's like I don't let their negativity remind or hinder me and make me sad, and make me cry and over something that isn't real. Like, for example, I don't say, yeah, I made 200, right, last Super Lush Life, right, Super Lush Life flashback. So yeah, I don't say, well, I made 200 that in September, but I spent over 6,000 in the year, so I'm actually negative 5,800. No, I don't do that because that's not reality, right? So kind of like I had said, right, with the nonsense topic, right? And because it's obvious people still talk about that, right? That nonsense topic. So yes, it's like, okay, so you don't encourage people with bipolar, right, to just give up, right? Um, you know, even on your best day, you're still 10% behind everybody else because you always have that chemical imbalance that, the medication might not always be at 100%, right? Like maybe I'm not a pharmacist, but I can take an educated guess. Maybe the, milligrams start to wear off, right, after 3 hours. So maybe for 3 hours, right, you're 100% because the chemicals are balanced at 100% in your brain, right? But so we don't encourage them to give up, but we encourage a person, right, who thinks that they're the opposite gender to just give up and stop trying, right? We throw an ever-loving fit, right? We don't do, like I said with the NFL, right? Double team the best wide receiver, so now number 2 needs to be the new number 1. No, we don't do that, right? We just throw an ever-loving fit, right? Yeah, so we don't do that, right? So like I said, so that is me practicing what I preach, but on a whole different thing, right? So, and obviously, the people who actually, I don't know if the people, you see, we never even hear that information either. Do the people throw an ever loving fit that they didn't get to watch a game, but they paid $100 for a ticket because some people are going to throw an ever loving fit, right? And they can't get over themselves, right? Like I had said. So yeah, how comes we never hear about that? Why? Because it doesn't fit agendas. Anyhow, guys, so yes. Yes, that obviously goes off what I had said, right? So I don't throw an ever-loving fit and just give up, right? Because some people say, oh, it's a fool's game. You're just lucky. You're not lucky all the time. Yeah, but I'm still responsible even on years where I'm negative, right? Because years where I'm negative, like last year, I was only negative like 50 or 60, And that's really only 2 tanks of gas, right? And what? 6/10, so 60% of an oil change, right? Depending on where you go, right, and what the place does for labor, right? So yeah, it's really not that bad, but just wanted to also come on and share all of that. So anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. Now let's get into my final segment, and then we can get into the music video. Here we go. Alright, so just so number 1 ends it completely like 40 minutes long, I'm just going to go ahead and just say again that if you don't understand or don't know, you are obviously legally blind. I don't care that I don't have the authority to take your driver's license. I will take it because you are an extreme danger to yourself and others. And I will also don't care how rude, right, people think that I am, medical professionals, right, because actually this is a time where you actually are putting them in their place, and you can actually have the right to stand up to them, and they also have the right to not get all uptight, right? Whenever you're standing up to them and say, oh, you just don't respect authority. I've already covered that with my grandfather and standing up to worthless officers. Yeah, actually, now look at this, right? Now it's going to take you 20 minutes to find another go-to, right? Because that's always your go-to. Anyhow, you clearly don't know how to figure out the difference, right? So I will also be talking to, in very stern ways, medical professionals, right? In very stern ways, and being like, is something wrong with you? Because this person clearly is legally blind, and you're not seeing that they're legally blind, right? Yeah, and I also don't care how uptight you get. You can actually use your words and not act like a nonverbal autistic. Anyhow, so let's get into the number 1. Can't waste time, so give it a moment. A little bit like these as well. Yeah. Anyhow. The location one is the end of that statement. Alright. Anyhow, let's go ahead and finish this. I'm gonna break off all these little ends. Again, I don't click on her page like all the time. Like sometimes I look for the story
the thoughts, right? Like I said, right? Thoughts are not controlled by solid, liquid, or gas. They can be moved around anywhere, right? Guys, it's just like the thought just comes in. You know what? Why don't I check? And yes, guys, oh my God. Guys, this is insane. This is just insane. Like every time, you know, because she's such a scattered poster, right? That like, you know, you could check 3 different times in a month and she hasn't posted. So to actually be able to pinpoint and just be like, you know what? Let's actually tap on her page. Guys, this is just insane. The thoughts, right? Like over 1,100 miles away, just way up north, are flowing down. They're flowing down in just a second. And I'm like, you know what? Boom. And I got it within 2 days, guys, which that's insane. So if I would have searched her name that night, I would have seen it that night. Guys, this is insane. Oh my God. Like there's some kind of connection for reals. This is insane. Yes, maybe it's a sign, right, that we'll meet again someday. Obviously, yes, as co-workers again, not anything more, of course. But yeah, I mean, this is just insane, guys. How in the heck does this happen? That's wild.
And I go back to December all the time. Oh my God, something bad happened, so I don't believe in good. What? No, doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I did just want to kind of share that and add that on, because I think it's right around this time, honestly, that I had reached out, I think. 12:48, I'm gonna have to check. I did check this morning, it was 3:33, she responded, and then 6:08, guys, and then after that, it is officially a brand new start. But just, you know, like I said, a 30-minute video in February, but I might honestly just save it for just before Florida. And your girl list here is now officially 3:30 and a half, guys. You guys probably already knew it was coming. 3:32? Anyhow, guys, but that was just so weird. I never realized that I had sent her that text kind of like an hour after. But it was almost, again, like my body just being ready to move on, right? So I unknowingly did that. And then I, you know, said goodbyes. And then I reached out again, you know, kind of like, you know, just, you know, the normal, like, respectful thing to do, right? Like, Trump, even with as mean as he can be sometimes, and call reporters stupid, which there's other ways to go about it. I understand the F word, but again, I don't want to get into Trump right now. But yes, so even with as arrogant as he can be sometimes, he still decides to leave a letter, right? And follow that tradition and give that tradition respect. So, oh my God. So anyhow, guys, I thought that was just so cool. You know, that just amplified everything. Whenever I saw that, getting my steps after that, I was like, oh my God, guys, that's crazy. I'm sorry, not 2 o'clock, 2 hours before I had seen it. So I was literally just posting that as she was probably posting hers. Mind is blown right now, guys. That is crazy, 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 guys. Try not to think about Florida, but it ain't working. So, honestly, guys, unfortunately, I can't seem to find the videos right now, and that would be pretty hard to find, because I'd have to look at the transcripts and see, because I don't think I had it up for really, really long, or I might have actually just had it in the background, and included a couple pictures, and obviously, if you try to skim very fast, obviously it doesn't come up. And I definitely know it was one of them. I tried to look towards the end of the video. It was that video where it was like midnight, right? And it was right before even Valentine's Day, right? Do you guys remember that, when I cleaned out the closet and it was like midnight, right? And then there was a couple other times in my videos where I said, well, this is another past midnight night, right? Obviously, that final video before Florida, yeah. Obviously, well, yeah, that was 2 days, obviously, no, 3 days before I left. Obviously, I was up till
1 in the morning. So that's obviously trying not to think about Florida, but it ain't working. Number 4, I don't really know how to show it in a video, so I just won't show it. And then number 5, what was number 5 again? Oh, easy, duh. Yeah, that one's also pretty self-explanatory. You know, obviously I have been laying in my bed, obviously getting all those sunflower pics, right? Sleeping in, you know, just really being ready to live up in Florida. And yes, guys, I did. So, obviously, you guys remember my sunflower bikini day. Obviously, Coquina Beach was nice, you know. That was more just like take a nice walk along the beach all day, right? So, that one was fun. You know, sit in the sun or take a slow walk, right? Was Anna Marie, or the Honeymoon Island, right? So that one was really, really cool. And then obviously those 2 days I got to lay out, you know, and obviously be out with the girls. That was kind of like spend a whole evening with the girls, right? Pretty much whole afternoon and evening. Yeah, it was a while that we were all chilling out, right? So yeah, trying to think. Just have all day to yourself too, right? So, and bang out your task and also still enjoy them too, right? So you have perfect planning, right? Then you can bang out your task and enjoy them all day, right? So it's not like you're doing task, but you know what I'm saying? You're not, you're doing, yeah, you guys know what I'm saying. So sit in the sun or go about go about your planning, right, and have fun all day, right? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's definitely a very, very good, you know, music video. So I'm officially gonna go ahead now, though, and charge this phone. It's down to 25, so do a little bit of exercise to it. I'm already at 15,000, so just keep on rolling. And yeah, or I might break out my other phone and watch some YouTube videos, and then we'll get dinner together, and then we'll officially roll on out here and go get that Frisbee and fill up my tank. So here we go. Alright guys, here we go. Officially got the driver. I think I'm gonna do, I might get the mid-range too. You know, but I could also give myself a challenge, right? And just get this, and then try to keep the, here, I'll show you guys, look. See, because it's only 5, 5, 1, and -1, 9, 5, 1, and +2. Yeah, I can actually probably just give myself this middle one, and that'll be perfect. So, or the driver, and then try to master making the driver, right, like the iron, right? And then obviously the ones that I have now will stay the putters. Speed is 2, glide is 4. Yeah, I mean, based upon what I did yesterday, I would agree, right? So, yeah, try this. Actually, let me be careful with that. Probably get a pink one, you know, get a more girly one, you know. Speed 8, 5, -1, 1.5. I wonder what exactly fade means. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely like this. Ooh, except this one you have to master a little bit more. I am also going to get a really big one while I'm here, and then I can show you guys the really big ones and how well I am with that stuff. And then here's the caddy, like I said, but probably, like I said, just use my backpack, honestly, because these will easily fit in there. So yeah, so it's not necessary, and you're still getting the benefits. So that is a super lush life, went low and went high at the same time. So yeah, alright guys, I'm gonna look around a couple of the other ones, like I said, and look for that really big one, and then we'll officially get on to some, should I throw it? Be good, Alyssa, be good.
Here. Alright, guys. That's good. You guys can tell I'm pretty good at it. So, yeah, be able to catch on real quick. Alright, here we go. Alright, guys, so actually right here is the big ones. So, you guys can see big ones, right? Big ones. There we go. So much bigger. So, we'll get that, and that'll be that. So, alright, guys, let me go get my gram stuff, and then we'll head on home. Oh, guys, look. They have the purple one. Ooh. And I'm actually good for now running with my phone in my hand. But maybe later on this year I'll get, another phone carrier, armband phone carrier. Anyhow, here we go. Hey everyone, your girl list here. So it's now officially 6:13. As you guys can see, I'm making my bed, but I just want to come on and just do like a final goodbye video. Oh, a goodbye for this vlog video. That sounded a little bit wrong there. But yes, obviously, just do a, final vlog for today's video. And then I'll go ahead and get this produced. I'll hop in the shower, and then yeah, we'll officially be all good and ready for, obviously no shower tomorrow, but then obviously a shower then on marathon race day, and then, yeah, we'll just keep rolling. So, yeah, it'll be good. I obviously won't get super sweated up tomorrow, but you still like to, get a shower. I mean, who doesn't like to get a shower and stay clean? Duh, right? So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get a shower then. I just want to do this final goodbye. Stop saying it like that, Alyssa. A final video for today's vlog. There we go. Final vlog for today's video. There we go. Final vlog video in today's vlog. There we go. Anyhow, so yes, I know obviously my gram wasn't liking it, right? Whenever I said, she always wanted me to say, like last week before vacation, right? Don't say like it's your last week, because, yeah, that could be taken negatively by an employer, right? So, it's your last week before vacation, right? Or, oh, I'm going on vacation, or, oh, no, I'm not going to be here, right? Graham didn't like it whenever I used those kind of words, and didn't elaborate on the context. So, anyhow, guys, yes, we'll officially get going. Just want to come on and share that, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Freaking fun. Well, no, obviously, again, this is so hard because I have, earlier, right, top 5, but it's actually 5 top songs instead of top 5 songs. That started with an F because it's Friday. So anyhow, Super Lush Life Saturday, guys, coming up tomorrow.